Hello, wonderful people of the great World Wide Web. Welcome to episode 4 of season 3 and the second part of my TET Bosnia ride. First things first, you probably noticed the unusual aspect ratio right away. Yeah, I messed up big time on this one. The night before, while staying in Kupres, I reset my GoPro to factory settings, and when setting it up again, I forgot to switch the aspect ratio back to 69. My bad. I hope you can forgive the rookie mistake and that the adventure and content in this episode will more than make up for it. In this ride, we push from Kupres to Mostar through Bosnia's wildest trails, Zahum crazy uphill stone sections, where for the first time I reached my limits, technical descents, Ramsko Lake views, Jablanica historic bridges, and the highest village in the country. Buckle up, it's going to be a wild ride. Let's find out what's next. Well rested and with a full stomach, riding high on confidence after completing the first part of my TET Bosnia adventure, I set off toward my next destination, the city of Mostar. And guess what? This time I actually started on time. I was enjoying the first part of the ride. Everything felt perfect. Nice gravel roads, blue skies with scattered clouds, stunning Bosnian landscapes. I was truly living the dream. But I knew a truly challenging section was ahead. The day before riding a TET section, I usually check in with riders on the TET Facebook group to get the trail conditions. I'm aware of my skills. I ride solo and my Hemi, carrying 27 to 30 kilograms of luggage, isn't exactly a hardcore enduro machine. I was specifically warned about a section called Zahum, near Ramsko Lake, and advised to avoid it. But, well, I am who I am. I had to see for myself. Near Ramsko Lake, the TET route offers two options. A longer path and a shorter, marked, more challenging alternative. My logic was simple. I skip the tougher route and take the longer way around. There I was, at the start of the easier route. While taking a break and smoking a cigarette, a pair of German hikers warned me. They said that the trail to the lookout point was stony, but the forest paths were really muddy, which made total sense, given that it had poured rain 3 of the last 4 nights. Still, I couldn't resist giving it a try. I could always turn back. The first part was manageable, but then I hit a section that truly tested my skills, strength, endurance, and my bike suspension. I kept thinking, who the fluff find this part easy? I tackled some technical sections before, but I have to admit, I was not prepared for this. Alright, I'll confess, I didn't deflate the tires any further, only to the level I usually do for trail riding. This was the moment I truly hit my limits, and I couldn't help but feel a little sorry for my bike. I decided to turn it around, but my curiosity got the better of me. I had to see the more challenging alternative. Riding back down, I used the engine off technique, letting gravity do most of the work. With careful use of the engine, rear and front brakes, I made my way down slowly and steadily. And there I was, at the start of the more challenging alternative. This doesn't look too bad. Definitely doable. Let's give it a try. I can always turn back if needed. I was actually really enjoying it. Sure, there was a few steep sections, some big rock here and there, and a couple of muddy patches, but nothing I consider truly challenging, even with my limited experience. It was exactly the kind of trail I love to ride, and the views of the Bosnian mountains and Ramsko Lake were a fantastic bonus to the adventure. At one point, I even wondered if I had misunderstood the route. Oh boy, was I wrong. The farther I went, the steeper the trail became, and at one point I had to use the engine off technique again, just letting gravity do its thing. The rocks sticking out of the trail kept getting bigger. Honestly, some of them deserved their own postal codes. The loose stones got deeper and rougher, and I caught myself praying to the gods of adventure motorcycles that there wasn't any uphill section like that waiting ahead. And I even dropped the bike once. Not a real crash though. I just wanted to stop for a quick breather because that section was seriously exhausting. While trying to keep my tires on the solid line to the left and avoid the loose rocks, I stopped. And my short legs couldn't reach the ground on the right side. Total Mr. Bean moment. And honestly, I laughed from the bottom of my soul. Even now, when I walk that moment back, it still makes me smile. But yeah, this section was a serious challenge for me. I was grateful for every small, easier stretch I could get. I drank a full bottle of water just on this descent, trying to catch every atom of oxygen. Honestly, I was breathing through my gills. And still, totally worth it. Moments like this really boost your confidence. One thing I was especially proud of, I kept my feet on the pegs the whole way down. All those practice sessions, riding the same steep sections up and down over and over, finally paid off. And I made it. Normally, reaching paved roads after a long stretch of trails makes me a bit sad that the adventure is over. But this time, I really had to hold myself back from jumping off the bike and kissing the road. I took a short break, soaking in the incredible views over Ramsko Lake, and still riding on that wave of confidence and adrenaline, I continued my TET route. My next stop was a restaurant recommended by a few friends from that part of Bosnia and Herzegovina, Hajdučke Vrleti or Hajduk Stravinac. And the best part, no detours needed. Finally something easy. After finishing my lunch and coffee, and honestly feeling very comfortable right where I was seriously tempted to point the bike straight toward Jablanica. Let me explain. Mostar was my TET goal for the day, but Jablanica, with its lakeside campsites and fresh fish caught right there in the same lake, was actually my planned final stop. From the restaurant Hajdučke Vrleti to Jablanica is only about 33 kilometers, and the crossroads was literally next to the restaurant, with a sign pointing me there like a little devil on my shoulder. Meanwhile, Mostar meant another roughly 60 kilometers of off-road riding, and even after reaching Mostar, I still had about 50 kilometers of paved road to Jablanica. After lunch, once the adrenaline settled, I really started to feel how much the descent had drained my energy. But hey, I wasn't raised to be soft. A bit tired, a bit sore, maybe questioning my life choices, sure, but quitting early, not today. So there I was again, continuing my TET journey through the beautiful Bosnian landscapes. Oh, look at that, a Volkswagen Golf MK2. Probably rolled out of the old TAS factory in Vogošća near Sarajevo back in the 80s. A true Balkan legend. You are out here on your fancy modern adventure bike, and suddenly, coming the other way, a Golf 2 appears. Loaded with firewood, 3 lamps in the truck, 4 crates of Sarajevo beer strapped to the roof. Driver cruising one-handed, cigarette in the corner of his mouth, folk music blasting like a moving village wedding. That thing runs on diesel, heating oil, leftover cevapcici grease, and even when the engine officially dies, it still somehow squeezes out another 50,000 kilometers. Kilometer after kilometer rolled under my wheels as I slowly closed in on my TET goal for the day. I could definitely feel the kilometers behind me. But after the brutal descent near Ramsko Lake, even those rougher sections start to feel like a smooth highway. My body was getting tired and I needed more breaks, but my head was calm, focused, locked into that steady rhythm. One obstacle at a time, one corner at a time, just me, the bike, and the Bosnian wilderness stretching out in every direction. As soon as I hit the pavement near Mostar and stopped to rest, a serious security check arrived. 2 dogs and cat making sure I was allowed into town. With night falling fast, I rode straight through Mostar to Jablanica Lake. Found a lakeside camp, fresh fish, cold one and good company, including the resident cat. The next day I rolled into Jablanica and stopped at Battle for the Wounded on Neretva Memorial Site. Fun fact, that ruined bridge isn't the original. It was built as a prop for movie Battle of Neretva, starring legends like Jal Brynner, Orson Welles, Franco Nero and powerhouse Yugoslav cast. The film even scored an Oscar nomination in 1970, and it's worth a watch. Just hunt down the almost 3-hour version, not the shortened American cut. And of course, no trip to Bosnia is complete without proper burek ispod sača, a seriously tasty meat pie that hits the soul just right. With full stomach, I continued toward Konjic and climbed up to Lukomir, where I stayed overnight enjoying quiet walks, incredible views and some proper homemade Bosnian coffee and local food. The forecast for the next day looked rough, otherwise I would gladly stay longer. Sitting at 1,495 meters above sea level, Lukomir is the highest village in Bosnia and truly one of those places that just stay with you. As you enjoy this lovely weather with me on the ride back to Konjic, let's rewind for a moment, because the climb up to Lukomir was a very different story. If you start from Konjic, Google Maps will send you on a roughly 28-kilometer route, almost a straight line toward Lukomir. The beginning is easy riding, but once you pass Hotel Han Jelica, it quickly turns into proper off-road terrain. And yes, that section is a part of TET Bosnia. I really wish I had footage of that climb, but between the rough trail and me being fully focused on staying upright, either the GoPro missed it or I did. So you have to trust me, that part definitely woke me up. I only managed to grab this one photo during a short break. And if you decide to take that route, watch out for the sheepdogs. I came back with a nice little souvenir, a few new ventilation holes in my riding pants. If you're not looking for a challenge or your bike prefers the easier life, there's also a longer but much more relaxed 84-85 km scenic route from Konjic to Lukomir. Aside from 10-11 km stretch of well-maintained gravel that starts near Umoljani, it's all paved, with just enough twisty sections to keep the ride interesting. The road runs closer to Bjelašica ski center and offers far more relaxed approach to the village. That's actually the route I ended up taking on my way back, because tackling technical off-road in cold rain felt like a very questionable life decision at the time. I made it to Konjic. And with these last shots from the ride to Vrapčići near Mostar, where I found a stay close to the TET route, we are wrapping up this episode. Thanks to sticking with me till the end. I know this one ran a bit longer and had a funky aspect ratio. Like, subscribe, share. Ride safe and keep exploring.